Yeah, thank you for giving this opportunity. This session is a technical session, T after T. The session is on noise monitoring, instrumentation, modeling, and mitigation methods. I welcome you all after the T. And in this session, we have 4 presentations. I think 2 are online and 2 are from offline here. So already we are running late. So without wasting much time, let me invite the Professor B.N. Pandey from Gujarat. Is he online, please? Professor Pandey, are you there? Can you introduce?
DND.
So Dr. Bhaven and Tendal sir is assistant professor at Environmental Engineering Section, Department of Civil Engineering, SV, National Institute of Technology, Surat. His area of interest includes noise pollution modeling and mapping, health impacts of noise pollution, air quality modeling and mapping, indoor air quality, odor pollution, EIA and environmental legislation. He has published many papers in SCI journals in this field.
Okay, thank you for introduction. May I invite Professor Pandey to start share his presentation and start the talk.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish ji. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Share your presentation and then start.
Fine. I think I am given 15 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for question answer. Is my screen visible?
No, not yet.
The first page of the PowerPoint presentation.
No, not yet. Still need to be shared. There is some technical problem.
Yeah, I'm sharing. Just hold on for 1 minute. Just hold on for 5 seconds. I'm making slideshow.
Yeah, your presentation we can see. You can go ahead, please.
हाँ नहीं खुलेगा ना Yes, share नहीं हो रहा है ना?
I think your first slide is visible to us. Can go ahead.
I want to have it in slideshow mode. I'm trying to make it slideshow mode, the entire screen. Hello?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Full screen. Fine. Is it visible?
Yeah, your first slide is visible. Yes.
Yeah, fine. I'm not making my camera on. Afterwards, I'll make it on. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to deliver a 15-minute talk on noise pollution aspects. Here, I'll try to highlight the significance of silent zones from the noise perspective, which is, of course, a work of one of my PhD student. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Fine, thank you. So strategic here means that the looking at the scenario of the urban sprawls which are developing in India, countries like India, we don't have the luxury to design and construct noise barriers at each and every place. So the viable solution is to have strategic noise barriers, or maybe using a simple acoustic theory of noise propagation through distance, or the least costly natural vegetation barrier. So I don't have a case study right now as the work is under progress, but at least I'll try to highlight the significance of silent zone. These are the contents which I'm going to speak. Significance of silent zone, the noise assessment which has been done in the silent zone, the noise maps generated for those areas, and noise monitoring also includes a social survey questionnaire which was circulated to the affected people like the students of the schools, colleges, the hospital buildings, doctors, or the lawyers in the courts, which are the silent zone in the city of Surat. I don't think I'll able to reach up to the strategic noise mitigation strategies. If at all I can, I'll share my views on that. But at least I'll finish it off with monitoring and mapping. So lots of wisdom words have been said from the morning, but it is my moral duty to highlight the impacts of noise, especially in urban areas, where day by day, this exponential increase in noise is leading to lack of sleep. I have not narrated here hearing loss, which the whole world is knowing that noise leads to hearing loss. But now the focus is on the quality of life indicators. So many of them are like hypertension, annoyance, sleep disorders, which is like lack of sleep or quality sleep, high levels of stress due to noise. Noise, as compared to Western countries and European countries, in countries like India or various countries of Asia, the noise load is very high. And the least attention is being given to the health aspect from the cognitive learning of school going children. Of course, one of my PhD students is working on that. The roads, the schools, colleges which are exposed to direct roadside facades, that is his research. So everybody knows what is a silent zone. 100 meters, within 100 meters, any institution buildings like hospitals, educational institutions, courts are silent zones. But these silent zones are very crucial and have significant health impacts on school children, hospital patients. When I talk of hospital patients, if they are neonatals, that is very, very crucial. And even in judiciary proceedings, these are all silent zones as per the CPCB rules, noise regulation and control rules 2000. What three activities are banned? Use of vehicular horns, loudspeakers, and bursting of crackers. They are banned as per the amendment 2009. So it is necessary to assess and mitigate noise levels in these areas of silent zones. In the silent zone, CPCB says that the permissible norms for daytime is 50 dB, whereas the actual values may vary from 55 to 79, and maybe in some congested cities it may go up to 85, 86 decibel. But these are the observations of tier 2 cities, 55 to 79 decibels. So you can imagine what is the level of non-adherence to the permissible norms of 50 decibel. The most significant impact of noise is the impairment in the cognitive learning of school children, as I said in the earlier slide. Hence, a paradigm policy focus is needed to reduce traffic noise in these silent zones. Look, we have noise on the arterial roads, noise in the street canyons, we have noise on the highways, we have noise due to railways, for example, Bombay suburb trains, we have noise due to aircrafts. These are all categorical problems which are need to be given attention. But my submission here is that a paradigm and immediate policy focus is needed to reduce traffic noise in these silent zones. Noise monitoring work which was done. Two aspects were there: objective assessments in the form of noise level measurements and the traffic measurements. They were done. Subjective assessments in the form of perceptions and attitudinal surveys of the affected people like school-going children, college students, even the faculties of these colleges, doctors in the hospitals, and the lawyers of the courts. They were given a questionnaire survey, a questionnaire, they responded. I'll try to highlight that in one slide. Objective measurements, as everybody has said from the morning, is like real-time monitoring was not possible, but actual measurements are done using a sophisticated precision class 2 sound level meter. So these were the monitoring points of the silent zones in the city, which were carried out in last 1.5 years, which is a project of a PhD student. So 4 hospitals were selected, 1 school was selected, and 4 colleges were selected. And the last one, 10th one, is the court, which is a district and sessions court of the Surat city, Surat district. So the red font here, I want to highlight the, after some slides, I'll show how noise propagates. So based on this distance of the receiver from the source, which is the road traffic, 20 meters and 90 meters, how noise is behaving in the propagation, and how strategically one institution may need a noise barrier and one institution may need an immediate noise attention in the form of a noise barrier, which will be after some 7 or 8 slides. So this was the study area. These are the 2 arterial roads. I think you cannot see the fonts, but I can read out like the institutions are 4 hospitals, 1 school, 3 colleges, sorry, 3 colleges, yes, 4 colleges, and 1 is the court. These were the instruments used, as I told. It's a class 2 precision sound level meter. Rather, not 1 but 2 sound level meters were used. 1 to measure the noise levels just immediate to the source, that is on the roadside curb, and second at the receptor level, which is the exposed group of people, maybe a school or a college or a hospital or a court. A radar gun was also used to measure speed. A GIS was used to generate noise maps. Sound plan, which the work is being undertaken by the PhD student. He is preparing the noise barrier design. Still, it is under progress. I won't be able to show it. These are some signage boards as per CPCB rules. The institutions just on the roadsides. So traffic composition and noise levels. You can see inside noise, that is in the inside the institution. As I have shown, the distance of that receiver from the, I have shown, sorry, these distances I have shown So these distances means the inside distance is from the actual source of the noise, which is road traffic. So the outside noise is the road traffic noise just at the curb of the road. These are the graphical representations using two vertical axes. On the left vertical axis is the traffic volume count in the form of two-wheeler count, three-wheeler count, and four-wheeler count. Four-wheeler means basically cars, as heavy vehicles are permitted during the daytime in the Surat city. What I can say from the traffic count is that as like all other cities of India, 70 to 75 to 80% of the share in the traffic composition is coming from two-wheelers, and the honking of horns by two-wheelers is the major share in this road traffic noise. Vertically, second vertical axis on the right side, which you can see the outside noise and the inside noise. So this is a noise inside the court. VT Choksi Law College. This law college has a very unique characteristics. Hardly 15 to 20 meters facing the roadside, the classes of the law college are there. So there is hardly a propagation of 3 to 4 decibels from the outside road traffic noise to the inside of the classroom. A very contrasting scenario I can take, which is of a district court. Here, as I have shown you in the earlier slide, that the propagation distance is more than 70 to 80 meters, and hence the reduction in noise is as high as 9 to 11 decibel, which you can see from these second column of the noise levels inside the institution building court. Again, the same scenario, you see the two-wheeler counts are very high. Yeah, subjective survey of the questionnaire survey which has been undertaken. Approximately 250 to 280, 270 responses were taken from these 10 locations. So you can see the ignorance of the people, that 72% of the people are not knowing about the silent zone as per the CPCB rules. 72% of the people. 64% of the traffic is coming from the noise is coming from road traffic, which is as per the scientific validation of this questionnaire survey. Second part was noise maps generation. So this is prepared in AutoCAD, the basic geometry of the law college. As I said, 15 to 20 meters immediately from the roadside curb, the classes of the law college are there. So this is a basic sketch made in the AutoCAD. Now I have not narrated the steps of the noise maps, as the audience is well aware of that. So this is a 3D map of the area which is generated in the sound plan, which is a work for the current work being undertaken by the PhD student of the noise barrier design. So this is that 3D map. So the law college, which is just on the adjacent to the roadside, is having significant noise levels inside also as compared to the outside. This is the final noise map. As you can see, though this dark red map is the VT Choksi Law College, and this one is the road, and the second line is the flyover bridge just adjacent to the road. Second case study is of a court. As I told, it is far away from the roadside curb, approximately 70 to 80 meters. Activity of the judiciary proceedings are going on in this institution building. And the noise map also, you can see that this is a 3D map, of course, and they're far away. And as you can see, this is a road. If this is a road, and from the road, the noise propagates and is almost coming to around 55 to 57 decibels. So my second point of submission here is that if there is enough noise propagation distance available, maybe we can avoid with the noise barrier, which is very costly. And as said by Professor Parida of IIT Roorkee, that approximately 1.2 to 1.5 crores of rupees is required for design and construction of a 1 kilometer stretch of noise barrier. So this is a unique location. Here vegetation can do, natural vegetation can bring the noise levels from 55, 56 decibel to the permissible norms of 50 decibel. Third aspect is the strategic noise mitigation, which I'll try to finish it off very fast. I think I'm running out of time. Should I take 2 minutes more, sir?
Yeah, okay, please.
Fine. I'll wind it off in next 5 slides. So in the last year's international workshop by the NPL, I had given an emphasis or given an explanation of all these things. I think it was in October or December, I forget, 2021. So this presentation of each and every component of noise mitigation was narrated by me at that point of time in that workshop. I'll not go into the depth of each and everything. But what has come in last 8-9 months is that noise barrier is not the only solution available for mitigation. There are many other options available for countries like India, like buffer zone with or without plantation, depending on the inside receptor noise. Look, we give lots of focus on the measurement of noise on the roads, but there should be a parallel measurement of noise inside the institutional building which is being affected. The people who are being impacted there at their receiving level, noise should be measured in parallel. Second composition is like this traffic composition. Traffic composition is a very crucial kind of thing, because if one can see the ban on some heavy vehicles, there is drastic reduction in noise in that arterial road or a city road. Scrupulous enforcement of horn honking ban. Having a law in the noise rules 2000 amendment 2009 is one thing, and implementing these horn honking ban in silent zone is a very important aspect. These are other things like low noise pavements, low noise tires, engine. Land use planning is also a very important kind of thing. That new schools and colleges which are being planned by the TP scheme, town planning schemes in the metropolitan cities or the new cities should be located in zones which are far away from the busy congested roads, from the arterial roads. Even with a slight cost involvement of the internal building modification, like the hollow blocks instead of rigid bricks, there can be drastic reduction in noise. One more aspect is like 2-panel doors and 2-panel windows of the schools, colleges, and hospitals can reduce noise from 4 to 7 decibel, and reduction of 4 to 7 decibel noise is a very significant achievement as per the acoustic theory. I think I'll end here. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'll make my camera on, sir. I want to make myself visible.
Meanwhile, invite
Yeah.
the audience. If any question is there, please go ahead. At least one or two questions we can take.
Good evening, sir. This is Rajshekar here. Very fascinating presentation on noise mapping and noise monitoring. I was wondering whether you could put the data of the sound emitters into the sound plan to get the noise contours.
Yeah, exactly, sir. We can do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, but this is type
Yeah.
2 sound emitters, not type 1, right?
Pardon?
These are type 2 sound emitters.
Yeah, class 2 7 sound level meters, but they are quite okay. Like except the 1/3 frequency sound level measurements, everything is fine there. The accuracy of sound level meter. It's a French make from France. Hello.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
And sir, one more point I want to add to your question, that
Yes,
if you
sir.
want to input those noise levels, you have many options. Like the audience is maybe well used to using sound plan, and maybe Lokhande sir is also using that. That you can utilize many mathematical models of the various countries like FHWA, CORTN, RLS 90 of the Germany. So what I have found in the last 8-9 years, that for the Indian conditions, the nearest validated values of the noise prediction is given by RLS 90, sir, in the sound plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask? Yeah, please.
Good evening, myself Mohit Munshi. I'm from Himalayan Acoustics. I have a question that with the sound barrier, what is the kind of reductions can be achieved if you've done some study on that?
Yeah, as I said in the starting, the work is just on the verge of completion by my PhD student. So I have not shown the, but I can show from the preliminary data that even with a noise barrier in a significant, like which is like this law college which I presented here. So bringing down the noise levels within the permissible norms is almost impossible. But having said that, reduction of 4 to 9 decibel, that also will be a significant achievement for the reduction in annoyance, reduction in the stress levels, and most importantly, the cognitive learning of the school kids, which I told like the second PhD student is doing, the cognitive impairment of the roadside schools.
Thank you.
Have I answered you?
Yes.
It's almost impossible for very congested cities to bring down within the permissible norms because the CPCB permissible norms for silent zone is 50 decibel.
This was the night.
Pardon?
This was the night time. This was the night time. Huh?
Only daytime, only daytime. Morning 6 to night 10. Except hospital, except, hello?
Yes.
Except hospital, none of the activity exists at night time. Schools, colleges, and court.
One small question I have. You have mentioned that plantations can be used as one of the strategy for noise mitigation.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very valid question. But
Yeah,
that holds true
what
for.
kind of plantations would you like to comment? Do you have anything, any particular species for that?
Yeah, there are 2 or 3 species. I cannot name right now the botanical name, but they are very abundantly available in various parts of India. But the point here is that they are very useful for highway noise mitigation. For urban settlements, it is very difficult to have plantations because as such, people are planning to widen their 4-lane to 6-lane or 6-lane to 8-lane in the cities. So having plantation will be a very luxurious affair in the urban areas.
Yeah, but highways outskirts of the cities can be considered for that.
Yes, it is being done. If you take any expressway or new highway by NHAI, it will definitely have a plantation.
National Highway Authority should make it mandatory to go ahead with this kind of plantations.
Yeah. Now, can I answer your that?
Yeah, if you have any information, please share. Otherwise, no problem.
Okay, I'll share it with the NPL people.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Pendel, for your nice presentation.
I think, sir, can I have one suggestion?
Yes, please.
Like it's a very good thing to gather people who are on the, because if you see, this is my statement, like in environmental engineering, of course, you all are acoustic people, but in environmental engineering, we have water, wastewater since 30, 40 years. We have air pollution since 10, 12 years, but noise is a neonatal. It's being born in India. Am I correct, sir?
Yes.
Since last 4-5 years only, there is awareness about noise. So as I was listening to presentation of Lokhande sir, like tunnel noise. So this is very fascinating, like people are working. So my humble submission would be that if we keep less presentation and increase the presentation duration to 30 to 35 minutes, that will be a very good interaction, sir, rather than having 15 minutes like we do it in our conferences. This is my just suggestion, sir.
Okay, yeah. Organizers will take note of that. Maybe next time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you on behalf of audience present here and on behalf I thank you for your nice presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll go for the next presentation, which is by Professor Daljeet Singh. Is Professor Daljeet Singh online? Hello? Professor Daljeet Singh?
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Technology Patiala, and his specialization includes acoustics and vibration and additive manufacturing. He has done his postdoctoral research at Trinity College Dublin, Ireland, and his research areas include additive manufacturing, objective materials, acoustics and vibration, and finite element analysis.
Yes, Professor Daljeet Singh?
Yeah,
You can go
just
ahead.
waiting
Say-
for
say
you to
your
unmute me.
presentation.
I hope you can hear me now, sir.
Yes, please. Yeah, your first slide is visible to us.
Okay, and am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. So a very good evening to you all. Congratulations to Dr. Naveen Garg and his entire team for organizing the workshop, and sincere thanks for inviting me for making this presentation. So the topic would be traffic noise modeling. Many of the aspects have already been covered by previous speakers, Dr. Tandal and Dr. Lokhande before me. So I'll be quickly going through some of the basics. So as we all are aware by now, that what is road traffic noise, and also called as vehicular traffic noise, which is the major source of noise pollution, followed by railway and aircraft noise, and about its adverse health effects, which include cardiovascular problems, sleep disturbance, communication disturbance, stress, reduced cognitive performance, and other psychological effects. So there is an urgent need to address the issue of vehicular traffic noise, and we need to make all the stakeholders aware and sensitize them towards the health effects that it can cause. Coming to the traffic noise models, why they are required, their significance. The first one is assessment of the traffic noise. It can be the existing noise levels or the existing scenario, or it may be required for measuring the traffic noise levels for prediction modeling for the future.
You can make it full screen.
Also, these models are required for prediction of the noise levels for future scenario, may be required for land use planning or design of roadways and planning the mitigation measures. These are the reasons why we need these vehicular or road traffic noise models.
Your slide is not moving actually.
Slide is not moving.
Yeah, make it full screen. Yes.
Is it moving now?
No, still it is the same. Not moving. Hello. We are not able to receive you also.
Okay, sir, I'll try to share again. Sorry about the same. Now is it visible, sir?
Yes, it is.
Sorry. So this was my first slide. So I talked about the vehicular traffic noise models, why they're required. Now coming to the next slide, a brief classification of the different traffic noise models, some of which we have already seen. So they can be classified as based on the country or the region of development. So some of the models, they are FHWA, Cotton, ASJ, RLS 90, Knossos EU model, and so on. So these are based on specific regions or the countries where they have been developed. So a lot of exhaustive data collection is there, and the reference mean energy emission levels, they are found out, to which certain correction factors they are added, and the final traffic noise level at the receiver that is calculated. So that is the basic philosophy behind some of these models. There have been some more recent models also. So this is one classification. Then there can be static or dynamic models. Now in the static models, there is a uniform velocity that is considered or constant speed that is considered. But in dynamic models, what we have is the velocity profile or changes in the velocity or acceleration. So those effects are also taken into consideration while developing these dynamic models. So some of the leading researchers like Arno, Can, and Lesurk, they have developed such models also. But we need in these models is some micro simulation tool that is required for simulating the traffic flow. So we need some emission law also, which gives us the noise level depending on the velocity profile. So those kind of tools, they are required for these dynamic models. Then another classification can be statistical or deterministic models. In statistical models, we consider the randomness of the data or the problem, and we use statistical tools or techniques to find correlations between the considered parameters for which we collect data and the output levels, which can be different noise descriptors like LEQ or other noise descriptors. Deterministic models, okay, where we have the output which is predicted with certainty. Okay, because what we have is analytical equations which define the physics of the problem. So these are statistical or deterministic models. Then artificial intelligence or machine learning based models. Like we all know, genetic algorithms, neural networks, fuzzy logic, random forests, and so on. So different machine learning techniques or methods, they can be used. They can be regression or classification based. So many researchers have used these AI based models also, okay, for this area. Okay. Another type of traffic noise models, they consider GIS, that is Geographic Information System or Spatial Noise Mapping. So as Dr. Tandal was also talking about the noise mapping that he has done. So over here, the geographical information or data that is referenced, and certain noise maps, they are prepared, okay, which show the noise levels in certain areas. So this is a brief classification. There can be more also of the traffic noise models. Now I'll be talking about a couple of techniques that we have used in the past. One is graph theoretic approach, in which we have cases where there is subjective, vague or fuzzy inputs and decision making that involves human perception. So for noise modeling, where this kind of a scenario is there, okay, and we need a systems approach which considers the interactions between different subsystems. Over there, we can use this kind of an approach. The second approach I'll be talking about, use of AI or machine learning techniques, ANN decision trees and random forests. Okay, then we have also done some work in the area of honking, okay, whether we should include it, and also noise barrier design. But I don't think I'll be able to talk about honking and noise barrier design today. Okay, starting with the graph theoretic approach. Okay, so
Professor
first data
Daljeet.
was collected.
Professor Daljeet Singh? Can you hear
I
me?
hope you're able to see the slides moving.
You know, that is what. No, your first slide is still on the screen. We are not able to see other slides. So only first slide is on the screen.
I don't know why the slides are not moving. I will share again.
There is some technical glitch.
बहुत फोन आ रहे थे क्या?
So now, is it visible?
Yeah, it is.
But the slide is not moving. I don't know
Yeah.
what is the reason.
We have only seventh slide is on the screen now.
While sharing. So is it visible now?
Yeah.
And the slides, are they moving?
Yes, yes.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, now they are moving. Yes.
So I talked about the classification of the different models, the type of models that are there. Okay, I hope now the slide is moving.
Yes, yes. They
Okay.
are moving now.
So I'll be talking about the graph theoretic approach, okay, which can be used when there are subjective, vague, or fuzzy inputs, and decision making involving human perception is involved. Also, artificial intelligence or machine learning techniques like ANN decision trees and random forests. So the collection of data was done at different locations using a standard sound level meter, conforming to IAC specifications and conforming to ISO standards. The placement was done. These were the different locations for the data collection in the Patiala city. Now, briefly, the graph theoretic approach, what it is and how it was applied. So this approach, it has been used in many disciplines, and some of the references are given over here. Okay, one of the benefits is that it is a systems approach in which the interactions between different subsystems, they can be taken into account. So first, an urban traffic noise system was formulated, which can be analyzed in a systematic and holistic way. Okay, we'll see later that permanent noise index, okay, that was also developed on the basis of the considered criteria. So within the urban traffic noise system, these 5 subsystems, okay, they were considered: road traffic, human subsystem, environment, traffic network, and urban prosperity subsystems. Okay, now these are shown in this schematic diagram. So this is the urban traffic noise system, and all the possible subsystems or the parameters that can be considered, they have been taken over here. So this S1, S2, S3, they are the subsystems like road traffic, human subsystem, traffic network, and so on. And these arrows, they show the interactions between these subsystems. Schematic GT diagram which is developed. Okay, the different steps involved, they will be discussed over here, and a permanent function in the form of a composite noise index P, okay, that is formulated, okay, and its correlation in terms of log P with different traffic noise descriptors, that will be listed in an example. So the step-by-step methodology for this GT approach, okay, that would be discussed. The details, they can be seen in these papers, these publications. So these S1, S2, S3, the diagonal terms, they represent the subsystems, the urban traffic noise system, and the off-diagonal terms, EIJs, they are the interactions between these subsystems. Okay, then the evaluation of the noise permanent function, okay, that is done by assigning certain weights or scores to all these diagonal and off diagonal terms and a permanent noise index P that is calculated. So with the example, I will discuss this. So in the first example, the traffic scenario presented by Nicole and Wilson that has been taken. So the data is taken from there. The considered parameters are traffic volume, street width, height of measuring point. And these parameters, they belong to the road traffic subsystem, the first subsystem in the urban traffic noise system. So that has been taken as a case over here to illustrate the methodology, though it can be applied to other subsystems also. So this table shows the traffic data. You can see the considered parameters and the different values of the data that is considered. So this is a graph theoretic model of the road traffic system over here. These are the 4 parameters: traffic volume, street width, height of measuring point, and average speed. The step-by-step methodology, the permanent noise index, the values for this, they are calculated, as we can see over here, and their correlation with the different noise descriptors, LEQ and other descriptors, that is done, which can be seen over here as well. So it was seen that the permanent function values, they correlate well with the noise levels in each case. In order to measure the correlation between the permanent function and the noise descriptors, regression analysis was done by taking log P as the independent variable. So these are the results of the analysis. And we can see with R square values and also the error values between measured and predicted values, there is sufficient correlation between the permanent function and the noise descriptors. The second example, that is for an urban traffic noise scenario. Over here again the road traffic subsystem is considered, and 4 parameters: traffic volume, percentage of heavy vehicles, acceleration, and road width, they have been considered over here. So this is for this roundabout scenario, for which the data was collected at different points at different days and times. This is the GT model, in which you can see the subsystems and the interactions between them. Again, using the defined methodology, the permanent noise index, it was calculated, and its variation with the LEQ values, it was seen. Also the correlation between log P values, that was also calculated. Again, the sufficient amount of correlation that was also seen for this case also. Now this was the graph theoretic approach. And seemingly in the traffic noise scenario, it was applied for the first time, though it has been applied in other areas. So the second approach that I am discussing over here, that is the soft computing approach, in which the different AI or machine learning techniques, they were used. 4 methods they have been used over here, and they have been compared by taking these parameters: traffic volume, percentage of heavy vehicles, and average speed of vehicles, again in the Patiala city. LEQ values, they were also measured using the sound level meter and the standard methodology. The 4 methods that were used over here, they include the ELM, Bayesian trees, neural networks, and random forests. You see, trees and random forests, again, they seemingly in the traffic noise area, they were used for the first time. The other techniques, they have been used, like ANS, GAS, fuzzy logic. So you can see some of the literature over here. So these methods popularly used in this area as well. These are the data sets that were collected at the different road segments in the Patiala city. So this is a schematic diagram of those road sections and the distances. So this is a sample data set for the considered variables or parameters and values. Here. So this was the approach used for developing the model: site identification, noise variables, collection of data. For the variable importance, like storing the different parameters in order of importance. this particular self-adaptive differential evolution method was used, in which this is the objective function, n is the number of samples, x is the LEQ value, that are the variables, and its number of variables, which are 3 over here, s is the score for each variable. So using this method, the scoring or the variable importance that was done. Okay, traffic volume. Okay, this is the most significant over here, okay, as has been seen in other studies also. But if you have large number of parameters or other parameters also, and you want to find or score these variables, okay, this method can be used. So this is the prediction method. Inputs, the data, the 3 variables, okay, the prediction model using the soft computing approach, and the LEQ value, that is the output. Okay, the RETL R software, which is an open source software, okay, that was used for these 4 soft computing methods. These are the methods, name of the modules, and the parameters and the values that were used in these methods. The criteria that were considered for the model evaluation for comparing them, that was correlation R, R square, root mean square, the accuracy. Okay, so these are the criteria that were considered. A 10-fold cross validation was also done, and also a t-test was done. So these are the predicted values given by the different methods, the 4 methods that were used. Okay, the random forest method, that was giving the best results, both for training and testing data sets, the highest level of accuracy, and the other criteria values. Okay, that was given by the random forest method. So this random forest method, it outperformed the other methods. Right, it has various benefits, so it can be used for different data sets with these benefits. So it can be applied to different scenarios. So graphically, some of the results can be seen. The scatter plots for all the 4 methods. The 10-fold cross validation for the best method, that is the random forest. It just indicates the robustness or stability of the method. Then the t-test was also done. And the results for the t-test also you can see. Showing the predicted values. Okay, they are correlating well with the field data. Okay, so those were the 2 approaches that we used, we tried, we explored and applied to the traffic noise scenario in the Patiala city, right? So there are various different methods available and research going on those methods. So depending on the requirements, these methods can be used. They can be explored further, right? So now other areas that we have touched upon, like we have also studied the honking. Okay, the effect of honking in the traffic noise scenario, okay, especially in the congested areas, it is considerable and significant and should be included also. So using regression and both machine learning, we have seen the effects, though I'm not presenting the results over here because of time constraints. But we have seen that when we include honking, okay, our prediction accuracy correlation, it improves. When we discard the honking values, okay, then it reduces, indicating that honking should be included, especially in the Indian traffic noise scenario, because it is quite predominant, right? Traffic noise barriers, we have done acoustical noise modeling for that also, and that has been discussed by Professor Tandal also. So I will not be going into those details. Now coming to noise, some noise abatement measures, and graphically some of the measures that have been presented by the European Commission. This is the source of the document that may be referred. So just a summary, maybe later on in the panel discussion we can brainstorm and take some points from here. Noise barriers, some of the potential noise reduction that can be achieved by using noise barriers. There was one question in the previous presentation also. Okay, so noise barriers is one. Okay, but again the problem is the cost. Huge amount of cost and resources that are required to put the noise barriers along the roadways. That is the constraint. Then building insulations. So within the buildings that are already constructed, we can have installations over there. These are the potential noise reductions that can be achieved by using the noise, those measures. Then for the new building designs, okay, though this is not quite common in the architectural design as of now, making of silent facades or silent zones within the houses or buildings. Okay, but this can be done in the future. Okay, so in the architectural design of houses, okay, these things can be taken care of. So we can have the silent facades away from the roadways, okay, or the traffic noise sources within the houses. Another can be changing the driving styles. We can reduce the aggressive driving, reduce honking, right? So the driving styles also can lead to reduction or noise abatement. We can have quieter road surfaces. So if we talk about the tire road interaction noise over there, the pavement surface on the road surface, we can go for the quieter ones. So a lot of research has been done in this area also. So this can also reduce or mitigate the traffic noise levels. Then we can have low noise tires. Okay, for that, the OEMs, vehicle manufacturers, okay, they can implement these low noise tires. Land use planning and design, okay, it can be done. Okay, this has been done in many countries abroad. Okay, like in Europe, you can see there are buffer zones. The houses are made away from the roadways, okay, and thick vegetation belts, they are used and the buffer zones are created. So land use planning and design, it can also lead to noise abatement. Okay, we can have electric cars. So a lot of research going on right now. We are having hybrid vehicles on the roads now, and maybe in the near future, electric cars may be a possibility. Though again, there are hurdles in this also. So at the source itself, we can have noise reduction. Then traffic management can be done. We can have traffic calming measures, use of maybe signalized intersections or roundabouts or other traffic rerouting, creating of silence zones, okay, no honking zones. So traffic management. Okay, again, it can lead to a lot of noise abatement, but many of these things they need administrative measures, enforcement of all these measures. Okay, of making the general public aware, sensitizing them. Also, at the part of regulatory agencies, okay, they have to be enforced. These are some of the SCI publications that we have in this area. For greater details of the methods discussed,
We are running out of time. Please conclude.
refer these papers of ours. Here are some of the references.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
That's all. I'll stop here. Thank you very much again. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Gandhi.
Okay.
Now, floor is open. If the audience want to have one question, at least you can go ahead.
I hope the slides were visible. They did not stop in between.
Yeah, initially there was a problem, but later on,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Sorry about the beginning.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the excellent talk, a lot of mathematics in the modeling and mathematics, and of course. So,
Thanks to the audience. Thank you, sir.
yeah, thank
Thanks
you
for the
very much.
invitation again.
Yeah. There is no question from audience. So on behalf of organizers and the audience, I thank you very much for your excellent talk. Yeah, you can stop sharing now. Okay, now go ahead with the industry presentation, company presentations, and the first presentation from this company is Knauf Sealing Solutions. Yeah, here. Yeah, please. You can stop sharing it. May I request you, can you be little brief? Because we are running out of time. Brief as possible.
इसके बाद मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन है तो वो पेन ड्राइव किसी को तो दिया था मैं
सर इसमें आपका शेयर कर देंगे।
उसी में डाल दिया मुझे, कोई है नहीं, खाली है बिल्कुल।
The noise for the next presentation.
Yeah. Hello all. Good evening. I'm Neeraj. I would just request for a few minutes to just have a look of this video. I'll just go through and speak about the background. So we being North Group, it's always pleased to be part of this series. I think it look really. I think so. Yeah. So I think good to begin. Thank you so much for explaining being here. I am Neeraj Yadav. I did key accounts of North Group for northern part of India, including the town. So apart from this business, I think so I'll start with your sharing our solution as a group. So your sharing simply means your ideas with our solutions. So I'll, the agenda of the presentation is to just have a little brief about us as a group, the North Group, and what we do, how we help industry with our solutions. So I am Neeraj Yadav. Along with me, my colleague Sumit is also here. So we'll go ahead and a bit about the North Group. We are having 4 different business with located in 86 different countries. So our global divisions are like North Civil Solutions, Cloth Gypsum, Knopf Insulation, and Knopf Industries. Just a bit brief about Knopf. Knopf being a German name, it is Knopf, so he is not silent, so we used to call it Knopf. And coming back to our general partners, because we are decentralized family-owned company. So there are 3 different partners, Mr. Alexander Knopf, Dr. Umi Knopf, and Mr. George. So we are a group of more than 35,000 people, and we are having 220 plants across the globe. And we were established in 1932. So our agenda of having the right solutions and what we manufacture, we say the same thing. So we do have certain values which are based on commitments, humility, entrepreneurship, and also the partnership. So
a little bit about Knob Ceiling Solution, which is the recent addition to our group as technology plays a lot role in this presentation. So I think sorry, I'll repeat it again for 2 minutes. I'll make it little faster because I've already consumed so much time. So I've already given my introduction. So coming back to about our group. So we being Knopf Group, we are a German company and we are located in more than 86 countries. We are having four global different divisions. So we started with the Knopf Gypsums, which is based out of Germany. And we are having another division which is called Knopf Insulations, which is like is in Europe and Middle East for this business. And the third one is Knopf Industries. The fourth is the recent addition of Knopf Ceiling Solutions. So I belong to the Knopf Ceiling Solution this division. We are a group of company. Basically, we are decentralized family-owned company with three different partners. So we are a team of more than 35,000 people. We are having 220 in-house manufacturing units across the globe. We were established in 1932, and our working values are like based on commitments, communities, and entrepreneurship and the partnership. That's how we collaborate with the people, for the people, and work together for the industry. So I'm going to talk about Knopf Ceiling. Basically, I fall for I belong to the Knopf Ceiling Solutions division, which is basically based out of ceiling business. So we do have solutions into ceiling and wall mounting with different multi-material. So Mr. Jasper is heading this segment globally. So he sits in Germany. We do have our 13 different plant. So majorly 10 different plant is available into Europe and Middle East, who service for the Europe and the US market. And we are having 3 different plant into Asia Pac. So our Indian plant is in Pune. So we do have multi-material solutions. So basically, this is more of the stone wool, mineral fiber, metal business, wood, also the grip, which is basically a suspension system because ceiling has 3 different components. So one part is one material of a tile, second is suspension system, and of course the skilled manpower is the major third part. So 2 walls, 1 brand, it simply means there is 2 different leading brand. One is Armstrong, which was leading brand for the Asia Pac, and the second is AMF, which was a leading brand of Europe. So these 2 brands coming together with the huge experience of more than 150 years. And of course, we do have dedicated team of more than 22,100 employees across the globe. And we do have about 13 plants specialized for the ceiling business. And these plants are available in different countries. So this segment was a recent addition to the group in 2019. So of course, we do have great vision, and our vision is based on people's choices, people's comfort, and people's safety. So each of our material is based on certain parameters which are based on safety, comfort, and aesthetic of the material. So that's how we together basically turn spaces to the experience. It is our value addition to the stakeholder and the industries. So that's how we are part of this business. So of course, there are apart from these safety parameter, we do have our multi-material solution with the different materials parameters, which are based on acoustics, safety, which is fire safety, which we talk about, and health and hygiene, which is the hygiene factor of the material, and of course the material. The fourth one is design part of the thing. So we Together with our customer, we grow stronger is our new statement, which we are thinking to align to the industry, which is based on the quality parameters, their different dynamics, services, individuality, diversity, reliability, sustainability, and of course the responsibility. So we as a company cannot sealing solution having the thought process of your sealing our solution. It simply start with your design intent and your expectation and the need of the building. And we as a manufacturer of multi-material solutions, so we provide all the solution sitting together to having the same concept. Our leading stakeholders are of course the architects who design the building. There are different type of building. So we as a manufacturer having 4 different partners to work together to provide the right solution to the building, started with the architects to the distributors, and again the GC contractors and also the planners. So we being manufacturer collaborate with all party together and having the accountability to provide the right solution as per the building needs. So along with these running business for this one segment, we are also equally responsible to align with the guidelines of authorities, PMCs, and government business. So we have these all documents to support the guidelines. That's how we work. And the life cycle for all products are based on the resource saving harmless healthy products which we manufacture. So our raw materials are based on the natural products which we have used of which are having different certificate based on the fire safety, FSC and PFC. We do have different production which is also production based on the C certificates. Also, we do have product and system solutions. We follow all global standard, which are the European and US standard for the safety and hygiene. Then we follow the life cycle of a product, which is based on the EPD, which is environmental product declaration, which is basically a green product. So that's how we believe into the processing of manufacturing process. Then there is a suspension system, which is also having a different grade in terms of the fire safety, because sealing is having different component apart from the tile, which is suspension system. So there are certain guidelines which we follow. So coming back to our solution, basically we are the brand who are having the largest stake with the multi-material solutions providers. We do have a different material in terms of the solutions. Basically, there are a lot of players into the sealing business who are having who are leader into one particular material or could be in different 2 or 3 more material. So we are the only player who are having the largest portfolio in the world. So it is started with the mineral fiber. Mineral fiber is more of a modular sealing solution. So basically it is mass business. So the production of the mineral fiber is in a tile format of 600 or 1200 or 300, 1200. So that's how it's more modular sealing based on certain acoustical values along with the hygiene and fire safety. Apart from mineral fiber, we do have metal solutions. So metal is more of a we can say it's kind of a customized business. So it is an ocean which we can think of and we can develop with the certain standard. So more of the infra project is with metal seal, if we see. So apart from metal, we do have wood wool and wood sealing. So wood is a natural 100% natural material for us, and wood wool is we do have a manufacturing in Austria. So it is again an acoustical material with the natural raw material. So it is 100% natural material, which is with the eco-friendly environment. And is also a material which can give you a huge acoustical value, not only for the high frequency, also for the lower frequency. And it gives a lot of flexibility for a different color. So let's say you can match a carpet with ceiling. So any of a color, any of orange shade is possible this color. So that's how this wood wool. And then coming back to our suspension system. Basically, suspension system is like we being manufacturer, we have certain guidelines for safety parameter, because this is a system which is going to suspend from roof and holding a huge weight on that. So it also hold for the acoustic and fire. Fire is equally important for any of a building. So that's how suspension. We do have a guideline RAI 30 to 120. So a little features about any of our material, because we do have all different material based on certain features, which is common for all materials. So yes, I think this is the great change in talking about acoustic. So in our material, acoustic basically there is two different parameter, which is the major parameter for any of a material to select the right material. So it is one of sound absorption. Second is sound reduction. So there are different standard also, like Europe follow the alpha value and we follow the NRC values. So sound absorption in our material, there are different materials. So up to 100% sound absorption, we do have a material which is alpha value 1 as per D, of course. Into different material, it could be wood wool or wood solutions. And sound attenuation, which is more of a dB value, up to 43 dB, we do have a solution either for ceiling or even in some cases involve mounting as well.
बहुत छोटा कर
So reduction coefficient, which we all talk about, and this is also one way of selecting the right material for different location and different areas. So that's how higher the NRC repeated the acoustic is a concept of for the industry, which we try to reach in a stage where we have to understand, like we as a manufacturer always follow the acoustical graph, because we also have to understand the frequency level for particular area. Based on that, which we can select the right value. So fire is a second parameter, which is equally important. So any of our system is more than 120 minutes fire. So of course the standard which we follow is RA 30 to 120. And of course, fire safety is based on the structure and the suspension, which is independent.
as short as possible.
So any of our mineral solution falls under class 1 fire rating, which is A2, S2,
Again,
Again, soft fiber is class A1, and wood wool, any of a wood solution also fall under A2, S2, which is class 1 fire ratings. Tiles. Apart from that, any of material and design, because design is something like aesthetic, which is any of a designer or stakeholders will lead more into the aesthetics, how it looks. So sometimes we as a manufacturer, our first priority is then acoustic, then hygiene, and the fourth one is acoustical design. Sorry, the material and design. So aesthetic is equally important, but we being manufacturer fall in that process, like it comes a little later. But when we design or we work with the stakeholders, so aesthetic is something like everybody is more keen about how it looks like. So the technical parameter is more important than the aesthetic, but yes, it has to be equally feasible. So in our material, we give us, it gives us a lot of flexibility to us or the stakeholder to have right material at right place with so many options. So of course, most of our material, let's say for the healthcare segment or anywhere, hygiene is the new trend, we can say, because even after COVID, we have experienced the clean air is the next need for the industry. So that's how any of our material fall, most of our material, I could say, like fall under ISO 346. So it is more of a RH value, which is relative humidity, and generate very less moisture. So up to 100%, we do have a lot of material which we can use in specific areas. These are the areas or applications where we have a great pool helping industry to have better solutions. So of course, offices, it is our bread and butter. We do have the largest estate globally. And then coming back to education, we do help educational stakeholder to choose the right material in right areas. So because sometimes it's look like if we see the institutions, so people are still, we used to believe, and I think it could sound little wrong, like we use a word called acoustical darkness. So acoustic is something like people or student come to the college for education, so they have to hear it. So we have to choose the right material even into the education. Then coming back to, of course, the restaurant, if you see there are a lot more people are into the hotels or restaurants, so there is huge sound. So it also increase the stress level. So we have to select the right material. Apart from that, of course, we do have industrial solutions. Healthcare is our major focus. And coming back to transportation, if we see country, it is having huge potential into infra business for next 5 to 10 years. So we're helping acoustically and also the maintenance fee solution to the industry. Coming back to our few of the applications, so I try mixing and having some of the images which we have done project not only in India, also in Europe and Middle East and US market. So I'll just go through with the some of the installed images for the area. I personally have choose this one image of corridors we see. In India, there is huge issues in this segment because people keep designing into the modular ceiling in these areas. It has a lot of services. There is huge acoustical issues, and corridors are basically of escape away zone for not institution for any of a building. So it has to be a solution which should be, because this corridor system which we follow or we guide to the industry is with free span system. It gives huge fire safety, very low maintenance material. Anybody can remove one tile and can put all tile one side. It gives access to the ceiling, and also it gives up to 70% of acoustical values. So some of the images for the transportation, I tried mixing some of the images just to show like how it looks. So this is the metal ceiling which we have done into Delhi ATC tower. This is again some of the metro stations in this metal. This is wood bamboo ceiling which we have used in some of the office building. There are few images which we are going to talk about based on different material which we have used in different projects globally. So the black ceiling is a wood tile, which is water-based spray painted tile in 1 fiber. So if you see, we can color it to any of our iron shape just with the water-based spray paint. Then we do have some combination with wood board with mineral ceiling, which is mineral fiber ceiling. So if you see, there are different colors in background. So some of the wall paneling is being done into wood and some of the ceiling is being done with the mineral fiber. So this all if you see with the if you see the different color into ceiling at true ceiling we have installed some of the wood board. So it gives acoustical values and it also reduces some dB value. There are mineral fiber, of course, we can do in a blank format or in a modeling format.
Some minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make it faster. I'll just run the some of the images just to leave an impression like how material looks into the.
You can keep on running.
Yeah, I will just keep on running. Sir, I'm so sorry. I think I'm running some sort of time. So these are some global images with different material, mineral fiber, metal, wood wool. There's again wood wool board with the different design. There's again mineral fiber. It is soft fiber with the combination of mineral fiber. There's again soft fiber in different shape. This is seamless ceiling. Of course, it's more we use in Europe market, but in India we are coming up with the same. With mineral fiber, even in the vertical format, we can do. Coarse metal, mesh, some wood with the combination of metal, and of course vertical and horizontal ceiling in wood we can do. Some mineral with the combination of mesh. So these all are solutions which we are capable to do. We can sit together to develop as per the building need with multi-material solutions. So just to have a little more, yeah, I think I finished it, sir. And we lastly, like initially it's some technical glitch, so I was a little hesitant to connect and be on track. So thank you so much for patience hearing, and I'm open for any queries if anybody want to ask, please.
Thank you, Mr. Yadav. It was nice. A lot of good pictures and a lot of solutions to offer. Any question is there? Please go ahead and. No question in the audience?
No issues, sir. Our IDs are there. Anybody need any support in terms of the ceiling business? We are just being a my colleague. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. And on behalf of organizers and my own behalf, I thank you once again. So it's nice presentation. So now for this session, I think last talk. Post meetings last April.
Yeah, ready.
Okay.
Sir, we would like to request Shukla sir to felicitate Messrs. Canop Ceiling Solutions with the memento first.
Please. You can go ahead with the next talk and next and last one.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, on behalf of JOS, may I thank Dr. Naveen Garg and his colleagues for having given us this opportunity to give this presentation. It's a great honor to be presenting at the National Physics Lab at such a workshop. So it's just a very brief presentation of what we do first. Okay, a brief presentation on electronics engineer. I just more than 35 years of those slide. Go through all that. Okay, we are the partners of HBK, earlier Roland Care, with more than 6 decades of partnership with them. They are the only company which provides a complete measurement chain for all acoustics and vibration, measurement, analysis, and reporting solutions. A long history of excellence in terms of microphones and accelerometers, more than 6 decades since the time Dr. Bruel made the first microphones and made the first accelerometers. So I would say that our record on the transducers is next to none. So we have the acoustic transducers, we have the vibration transducers, whether it's measurement microphones, binaural audio microphones, acoustic material testing kits, array systems for holography, calibrations whether handheld or complete calibration systems, including what is there in NPL, sound intensity probes, sound sources, microphone accessories. Similarly, for accelerometers, force transducers, vibration calibrators, and again calibration systems. And torch oscillators, the only had system certified by ITU for high frequency measurements, signal conditioning amplifiers for almost all the applications. Our data acquisition systems growing from 4 channels to 400 channels. Some of the largest systems in India today, including a 100-channel system at ISRO, very high speed 30-channel system at NAL, a 200-channel system here in Delhi at Maruti, many other systems at most of the automotive, aerospace, and engineering companies. Our latest 2255, which will be on demonstration tomorrow. The poster is out here. We will be showing how this does building acoustic measurements as per ISO 16283. Vibration testing equipment with the merger of LDS to B&K a few years back. We are the world's largest vibration testing company, and almost all the large shakers in India, including at all the space organizations, are from LDS. A complete data acquisition system for almost any application that you can think of. Some of the applications that were relevant here are noise source location, sound power, ISO 3744, acoustic material testing in the tube for all samples, pass-by noise testing today. Some of the top manufacturers in India including Apollo Tires and JK Tires, use this system for external parts by Hero Motors here in near Jaipur uses both the external and internal parts by systems. Dirac, or the software is on room acoustics, which you saw in the morning, one of the applications being for the barrier testing. The EN1793 noise barrier measurement system, again, which our partners from Netherlands showed in the morning, meeting all the standards for barrier noise measurements. Predictor Lima, again, one of the world's largest noise mapping systems today. It's used by in India by MIRI and by L&T, by VNIT, to just name a few systems. In Jost, we are not just a product company, we are in terms of complete solutions, application support, AMCs, repair, customized projects. We have done a lot of special projects like enclosures, acoustic treatment, anechoic chambers, vibration testings, production testing, installation, commissioning, training. So it's a calibration of all equipments. So it's a sort of a single source solution for almost anything to do with instrumentation. A pan-India company with more than 115 years, we are committed to provide advanced engineering solutions to add value to industrial processes. So thank you very much. I and my colleagues are here for any solutions or assistance that you might require on the JOS products. We have been having a very, very long association with NPL, and we thank you very much for this privilege. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, anything that you wish to talk on any of our products, myself and my colleague, Mr. Piyush, are here. We will be here tomorrow also. So please feel free to contact.
Yeah, thank you very much for your very crisp and short presentation. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if any question or anything is there. Very much I'm with guys. Yeah. Right. So thank you. I think on behalf of the organizers and on behalf of the audience, thank you very much. This was nice presentation. Thank you very much. So, this seems the.
I would like to request Dr. Shukla sir to felicitate myself, Josh Engineering Company Limited, to felicitate with the memento.
So thank you very much for your and patience to resolve the end of this session. Thank the organizers. Thank you for session. Nice presentations and once again, thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, sir, for sharing this session. Now, I would like to request Dr. Naveen Webb, sir, for our next brainstorming session.
Dr. Shukla for chairing this session. I know now it's very late and all of you must be now you have to go to your homes, and I think it's already 6 o'clock. Just for 10 minutes, because we actually planned for a session on a brainstorming session on noise control, how we can go about that things. So maybe we can have a just 10 minutes deliberation on that topic, because since all of you are here, so maybe these things we can forward to the authorities, because as you understand that NPL is basically the testing laboratory, which basically we have been given the mandate by the parliament that we have to maintain the standards and testing services and provide it to the entire stakeholders. But actually we are serving in the various bodies as a technical experts. So whatever things are coming from your side that we can pass on to the bodies for framing the standards. So maybe I can request you all, if you can give your suggestions or something that we can pass on to our authorities. And even we are planning to make the minutes of this 2 days meeting, and we will circulate that minutes to various stakeholders like CPWD, Bureau of Indian Standards, Airport Authority, etc. So maybe I would like to please request you to please come forward, and if you have any suggestion or if you have any comments, like one point which Manish sir has raised, I think when Dr. Satish Lokhande's talk was there about RT for this type of underground passage. I think those things are not there in the standards, and it should be there. And that's a valid point that we have noted down, sir. And we will definitely recommend that thing, that this should be there in the legislations. And in fact, all of you are the various, you have quite long experience. So maybe I can request all the senior people if they can comment anything, so that we can note down those things and forward them to the authorities and put them in our report. So maybe Rajsekhar sir, if you can suggest anything, please give him the note.
One of the suggestions that I looked at is also, you know,
Mike.
thank you, Dr. Garg, for this privilege. I think one of the things that we should look at in acoustics and vibration, in my experience, is the fact that catch them young. How much of the colleges really know? We have, say, 200 colleges in India, and all of them should be involved in acoustics and vibration. How much of them really, and I remove the IITs and IIC, which are in a different league altogether. They study acoustics and vibration, and all of them are research positions. But the average engineering colleges, if you take the NITs or the other top colleges, maybe the VITs and others, or BITs, which are all top colleges, none of them study acoustics and vibration. Maybe NPL should propagate and tell colleges that, look, put it in your syllabus. And I think vendors like us would be very happy to assist the colleges in terms of syllabus upgradation.
That's a very valid point, sir. We will take care of this particular point that you've raised. Unfortunately, in our BTech curriculum courses, there is a subject called vibration only, because I have been also mechanical engineer, and in my mechanical engineering, I have just read a vibration subject. And in fact, even when I did my MTech in IIT Delhi in mechanical design, in fact, in that course also, I read only vibrations. I was not taught acoustics at all. And when I joined NPL, then only I came to know about that acoustics is a big subject. But that's a valid point, and I think AICT should take care of this issue, that acoustics is to be included in the subject matter. So maybe I can request Dr. Chitra to note down this point, and we can circulate this point to the in our report also, and to the authorities. Yeah. Any other point? I think we can put forward some of the important aspects, so that we can forward these things to the in our report and to other authorities. Maybe anybody of you, Shukla sir, if you have any.
I think as far as testing is concerned, NABL accredited testing labs, particularly for the materials, different types of materials which are coming into the market, should also be set up in different zones, at least north, south, east, west. Four labs should be there, so that the people can get their material tested. So that is important.
So you have raised another important aspect. Actually, since I am an NABL assessor, basically, particularly for this, most of the, I think, environment instruments is there. So most of the labs, basically, they are just into the business of calibrating the sound level meters, or just sound calibrators. But unfortunately, setting a laboratory for testing of acoustical material, either by impedance tube or by reverberation chamber, that incurs a lot of infrastructure requirements, and you have to set up a huge budget for that. And unfortunately, labs are not able to cope up with that thing, and sometimes they have to find out that what will be the return of the investment. So I think in that case, sometimes because of that issues. So in northern region, neither in the southern region, there are not much labs on that part. But anyhow, NPL is taking up these challenges, and I think we are serving around more than 150 customers. Dr. Chitra has more database because she is directly in this business. So
Maybe one lab is not sufficient.
yeah, that is
Many
there,
more
but
labs to come.
but I think because as a company owners, they are basically focusing that how much return of investment will be there after setting up these labs.
Maybe
And
government setup.
yeah, that should be there, but I think, but this is also a valid point. Maybe we can forward this point also in our report that there needs to be some at least ERTL or some northern laboratories, particularly in the northern region, so that they can take some load of NPL also.
Yeah, one in the south.
Yeah, one in the south and one in the northern region. Devendra ji, I think you can talk about the schools because we were discussing that day, and that is a very important aspect.
Correct, sir. Actually, being a industry representative, we meet many clients, like they are from the education segment, office segment, and like they are from the auditorium and a lot of segments. So generally in the market, people focus on the aesthetic point of view, and they avoid this particular acoustics, which is more important in terms of productivity, in terms of their hygiene, and you can say their their health and all. So being NPL is a very renowned organization, and I request just we have to make some small courses for 1 day or 2 days for the architects, for the end clients, and also we can how we have to think like how we can increase the awareness towards this particular sound or acoustics comfort and productivity level, which is very much lacking in the market. So like clearly you had said, like last time we had discussed about the schools, education. If my daughter also studied in the DPS, but I had seen that a lot of reflective surfaces are in the classroom. Even last week I was sitting for PTM, parents teacher meeting, and on the last bench I was sitting there, I was not able to hear that clearly. So how my daughter, she's 7 years young, how she can listen the words which is coming from teacher. So we should like from the NPL side, I request we should increase the awareness level more in the market. That will be helpful.
Definitely, sir. This point is well taken. Actually, you have raised two important issues. First thing is the awareness. I think this is the third event that we are organizing within a span of 8 to 9 months. Piyush very well knows. The first event we organized in December last year. Then we organized an International Noise Awareness Day in April, and this is the third event. Sometimes actually we are planning to organize the event, but I think you can understand that organizing event itself takes a huge amount of time, and we have to sometimes compromise with our routine activities.
Yeah.
So but anyhow, we are taking up these challenges because our management, our director says that you have to organize these things because ultimately this is also our mandate to educate the people, to bring the awareness. And maybe I can request all the companies to come forward because we definitely want to plan such events in future. In fact, when we were organizing this event, we were discussing with Piyush at one point of time. We thought that we'll not be able to gather around 30 to 50 people, but to our best surprise, till Sunday, we could have around 260 people registered for this workshop only. And due to COVID limitations and due to some other infrastructure issues, our organizing team restricted us that you have to register only 120 participants offline, and rest people you have to make them online. And in fact, I'll be very happy to share with you that almost all the CPWDs of all the major cities, the Maharashtra Nagar Palika, etc., those people are actively taking parts. They want to participate in such a workshop. So this is an eye opener for us, and definitely next time. And one thing this time actually, since today and this whole week, Internoise is going on in Glasgow, Scotland. So most of the people, most of the eminent experts, we eventually miss them calling in this event. So some of the people who are really very close to us and they have been discussing about various activities, we could not arrange their lectures because they are all in this particular Internoise. But definitely next time we will take up this challenge and we will organize a big event a conference where we can invite around 250 to 300 people, maybe next year, if Almighty permits us. And there we can ask the companies to showcase their technologies also, like an Air Expo we have organized. And we only require the support of the manufacturers to organize such events, because ultimately we understand that since it is a government organization, we sometimes, in terms of providing the financial assistance, we are being deprived of that. And organization wants that you should get this funding from the private owners. So maybe that is the major issue, but definitely we will like to take up this challenge in the future. And second thing is regarding the schools and classrooms. We have already noted out this thing, sir. Tomorrow there is an exclusive session, particularly by BS on this aspect. And BIS, the national building codes are there in 2016, but now it has to be revised. And today we have released a compendium also where we envisage that there should be some changes in those national building codes, and it should be enforced also, because just a document can never serve a purpose until and unless it is enforced also. So tomorrow, I would request you to please actively participate in that event, because all the top BIS people will be there itself, and your suggestions will be well taken. We will draft a complete whatever suggestions will be there, and then accordingly we will draft the next national building codes, so that all these issues, especially in the schools, those things are taken care of.
Thank you, sir.
So maybe I request all the other people to please come forward. Anyone from, yeah, no.
It's again pleasure, sir, being here to contribute a little bit. So coming back to acoustic, if we see into the institutions, so of course there are certain standard in terms of the RT values. But it is basically like when we design a building, like as an architect or anybody who are into this business. So there are certain acoustical properties. So people which we experience into the industry, because we're working with most of the stakeholders who design the buildings. So they follow higher than RC values, which is noise reduction. But it has to be in such a way like you have to follow the right graph of the acoustic based on the certain frequency of the building. Like in this area, what frequency is going to continue. Based on that, you have to select the right product. And we all have to follow the acoustical data sheet. Like if there is a material at what gap or distance, if I'm going to install it, so how the performance will goes up or down. The same material, if I install at a distance from roof is 300 mm, is having different values. If I put it at 900, is different values. So there are basic criteria to select the right product and install at a right gap, so it will increase the acoustical properties. And coming back to education, especially for the schools, as my friend told about the doctor. So if you see, like, if any of a teacher which we speak, if we don't have any acoustical property or material inside the room, so we have to speak with more than the background noise. Let's say if there is a noise of 50 to 60 decibel, so I have to speak for 70 decibel value. So if I speak on 70, so my energy level goes down. So I cannot speak for 50 minutes of a lecture at the same level of speech, because there is a huge background noise. And a student which is, they are sitting at a distance of 6 meters, then after whoever is sitting are not able to hear properly because of not using the proper acoustical material. So there are basic things which we have to follow during the design, and there are standards which everybody has to follow. And also people, like as an authority, you have to also check like what parameter people are using while choosing the right material. So there are of course industry leader manufacturers who are having certain standard based on not only for the India, also the global player, and cannot add on a lot of values to select the right materials. So that is one my request to follow that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure, sir. I think you have raised two valid points. First thing is the certification course or the course. I think on that part we can take this point, and maybe in December or maybe next time we can organize a 2 days or 3 days special course on acoustics, and we can circulate it to all the people, and all those manufacturers who are interested in that, they can send their teams and we can train them. I think, Dr. Chitra, that thing we can do. And we can arrange the international experts also, so that they can also share with about their experiences. And maybe I think that can be a certificate course also, and will issue a certificate to you also that you are your whosoever you are sending, they are not being trained on that. First thing is that we can, that point is well taken, and we will definitely implement this point. Second point is the guidelines. That already we have discussed with DIS. But the thing is, here you have to come forward, sir. Because see, as a laboratory, we are basically engaged into the testing business.
Hello?
So whatever materials you are sending to us, we are doing the testing, we are giving to you the report, and ultimately you are installing that material in the market. Now the behavior of the material when it is directly in situ, that we call as the in situ characteristics. So that, or on-site characteristics, that you very well know, because ultimately as of today there is no certification in India about the on-site or in situ testing. So maybe if you can come up with your case studies and share with us, then we can frame such guidelines and we can circulate it to all, or maybe that can be a policy document that can be circulated, or that can be there in our website, that whosoever manufacturer wants to develop that material, they can follow those general guidelines. But eventually those things, leading companies have to come forward, they have to share their case studies so that we can properly write those things in a general manner so that everybody can understand. But definitely we have put this thing in our agenda, that there should be some guidelines about proper selection of the material, design, installation and application. I think Dr. Chitra, that point is also very good. Yeah, Manish sir.
चलो कोई ना सर, अगर नहीं होगा तो कोई फोन
Moish sir, sorry sir.
एक बार आप बात कर लो पहले, फिर
ऐसा है, ये जो उन्होंने सवाल किया और आपने बड़ा अच्छा जवाब दिया है, पर इसका सॉल्यूशन ये है कि फॉरेन में अगर आप जाएंगे, हर बिल्डिंग का एक बिल्डिंग नॉर्म होता है. अगर बिल्डिंग एयरपोर्ट के पास है तो इट हैज एन अकूस्टिकल नॉर्म. रेजिडेंशियल का भी होता है, कमर्शियल का भी होता है, वहां पे कंपलसरी है. हिंदुस्तान में भी कंपलसरी नहीं है, अदर देन एयरपोर्ट के पास कोई बिल्डिंग हो, ये रेलवे स्टेशन के पास इतने बड़े बड़े कॉम्प्लेक्सेस बन जाते हैं जहां से लाइन जारी होती है, बड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, बड़ी हमें इंक्वायरीज आती हैं उसकी भी, वाइब्रेशन प्रॉब्लम्स भी होती हैं एंड ओवरऑल नॉइज प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. आपके हाईवेज का इतना नॉइज पोल्यूशन है कि हर बिल्डिंग में आती है, तो बिल्डिंग नॉर्म्स नहीं है और ये स्टैंडर्डाइज इंटरनेशनली ऑलरेडी बने हुए हैं, तो यही उठा के देने हैं. पर यह है कि उससे कॉस्ट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन बढ़ जाएगी, तो उसका तरीका ये है कि जो इम्पोर्टेंट एरियाज है पहले उसमें इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाए, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे बाकी जगहों पे किया जाए. दैट इज द ओनली वे.
Your point is very well taken, sir. Unfortunately, देखिए legislation बनाना हमारे हाथ में नहीं है, और मैं आपको frankly बताऊं कि ये प्रोसेस इतना कम्बरसम है कि आप देखिए हमारे सीपीसीबी के एम्बिएंट नॉइज स्टैंडर्ड्स 50 और 40, कहीं साइलेंस जोन मिलेगा ही नहीं. आई थिंक अतुल जी इज हियर. अतुल जी रोज उस चीज को मॉनिटर करते हैं. दिल्ली के 30 स्टेशन ये रोज देख रहे हैं. प्रतीक जी इज वेरी वेल हियर. तो सर ये जो नोटिस, इवन सुबह मेंबर सेक्रेटरी साहब यहाँ थे, तो आई वाज जस्ट डिस्कसिंग विद हिम कि सर एक मिक्स जोन का कंसेप्ट होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द जोन्स कैन नॉट नेवर बी सेग्रीगेटेड एज कमर्शियल और साइलेंस और रेजिडेंशियल. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ये लॉज बनाना और इनको इम्प्लीमेंट करना बहुत मुश्किल है. आई थिंक एंड वी हैव टू एजुकेट अवर एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज आल्सो, क्योंकि जो इन्फोर्स कर रहे हैं दे हैव टू बी आल्सो वेरी, दे हैव टू बी नॉलेजेबल अबाउट दोस थिंग्स. बट ये सेटअप करना बहुत मुश्किल है. तो इवेंचुअली वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट अ वेरी इजी वे वेयर वी कैन हेल्प द पीपल आल्सो. तो ये अवेयरनेस हमें क्रिएट करें अगर, तो आई थिंक दैट विल बी, बिकॉज as you said, yes, definitely it's a cost, but sir, health से important कोई चीज नहीं है जो हमें कोविड ने सिखा दी है. I think अगर हमें नॉइज से, जी या प्लीज
ठीक है, ऑन कर लो, ऑन कर लो, ऑन कर लो. 4 नंबर, अच्छा 4 नंबर,
जी जी
नॉइज आ रही है.
Rocket science नहीं है. It is just it will become organized. Today it is an unorganized. तो ये तो एक अभी आइडिया है. It is very difficult. I also understand. अभी जब हम डिस्कस कर ही रहे हैं कि क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट्स हो सकती हैं, पहले तो आइडिया आएगा, फिर उसके बाद धीरे धीरे बातचीत होगी, फिर ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. अभी हमने 20 साल पहले थोड़ा सोचा था इतने फ्लाईओवर्स बन जाएंगे. अब ये जैसे जैसे डेवलपमेंट होगी, साउंड पोल्यूशन बढ़ेगा, तो धीरे धीरे these also kick in. We have to be mentally prepared because you will be the first person who will be asked. So keeping that in mind, whether to start from government buildings and then to private and then keeping the things near the airport, near the railway. So, you know, ऐसे करके segregate करते हैं हर एक बिल्डिंग का जैसे टीसीपी में टेबल होता है वैसे ही इसका एक सर्टिफिकेट वो जैसे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है, लॉयर्स है, आपकी बैलेंस शीट करते ही हैं या आर्किटेक्ट अप्रूव करते ही हैं, बिल्डिंग टीसीपी में लगता ही है, तो इसके जो अकूस्टिक इंजीनियर है वो करेंगे, उससे क्या होगा कि इंडस्ट्री ग्रो होगी, इंस्टीट्यूट्स बनेंगे और बच्चे निकलेंगे, तो ओवरऑल इट विल बिकम एन अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर इनटू ऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर।
सर ये पॉइंट आपका बड़ा आई थिंक वो इस पॉइंट पे मैंने 2013 पे हमने एक रिसर्च पेपर लिखा था which was published in a very good journal and I will just share with you all people that there is a program in France, उसको कहते हैं क्वालिटी। उसमें ये है सर, जैसे हम लोग यहाँ अपने घर बनाते हैं तो एक नक्शा अथॉरिटी से पास करवाते हैं तभी हम अपना घर बना सकते हैं। फ्रांस में क्या है, जब आप नक्शा बना रहे हैं तो नक्शे के साथ साथ आप ये भी बता रहे हैं कि इस पर्टिकुलर रूम की, इस पर्टिकुलर वॉल की इतनी एसटीसी या आरडब्ल्यू है। जब तक वो सर्टिफाई नहीं करेंगे आप घर नहीं बना सकते। सो आई थिंक यू आर टेलिंग द सेम पॉइंट, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ये चीज यही है कि क्या वो अथॉरिटी जो ये इस चीज को पास करेगी, आर दे वेल एजुकेटेड और अवेयर अबाउट दीज थिंग्स, एंड इवेंचुअली टेकिंग अप दिस थिंग आई थिंक इज अ वेरी बिग चैलेंज। देन वी सजेस्टेड कि हमने अपने उस रिसर्च पेपर में लिखा था कि देयर शुड बी टू गाइडलाइंस। One thing should be prescriptive in which you are recommending something, and second thing is verification. अगर आप देखेंगे यूरोपियन स्टैंडर्ड्स में DNTW is the terminology. सर DNTW इंडिया में कोई ऐसी लैब नहीं है जो इंस्टीट्यूट अभी कर पाए। So DNTW is I think almost forgotten, मतलब that is not feasible. So rather than अगर मैं ये कहूँ एक चैलेंज ये लेके चलते हैं कि RW plus CTR या RW वैल्यू इसकी इतनी हो, तो आई थिंक दैट विल मीट द चैलेंज। DNTW 5 या 8 dB उससे कम, मतलब थोड़ा सा फर्क होगा। तो rather than going for verification we can have a prescriptive criteria, but the point is well taken, but I think it should be practical also, क्योंकि वो चीज करना itself मतलब acoustics I think is not a very big issue point for our authorities and all these people, but definitely it will come in future. और कोई सजेशन? अतुल सर, प्रतीक सर, आप लोग तो रोज सिस्टम मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं वहाँ नॉइज।
Only point is that, as you rightly discussed before, also all these systems need to be educated and it has to be implemented at a stage in the education system. Firstly, to have good amount of people to have a know-how, because engineers को ही पता होगा तब जाके वो आगे जाके कुछ implement कर पाएंगे. We keep on waiting and this will not suffice it. And अगर आप देखने जाए तो there are not many people, you know, in the country that we are living in, उसकी population के हिसाब से awareness to be rightly said that last 3-4 साल में कुछ, you know, some amount of awareness noise के regarding आया है, and क्योंकि NPL is organizing this event and we get to know how many people are there, you know, having curiosity and interest in acoustics, but all these things मतलब फील्ड में आने के बाद में पता चलता है कि acoustics भी ये होता है और acoustics में ये building acoustics भी सब्जेक्ट होता है, तब जाके पता चलता है कि भाई यूरोपियन कंट्रीज आर सो कॉन्शियस कि उनको नॉर्म्स इतने हैं, बट education system wherein an acoustic related study is involved will help us in, you know, making this process faster. That is what my opinion is. Yeah, but seeing that the NPL, the best point that I think is that I know the certification course a kind of course where NPL यहाँ पे हम कोई आके सीख भी सकता है acoustic से वाले, other than doing 20 minutes. So that is what I have to say.
आपने एक बड़ा वैलिड पॉइंट रेज किया सर। आई थिंक दैट्स अ इम्पोर्टेंट इशू एंड वी विल डेफिनेटली टेक केयर ऑफ दिस पॉइंट। हम एक सर्टिफिकेशन कोर्स अपनी अथॉरिटीज को शेयर करते हैं कि दैट वी शुड हैव अ सर्टिफिकेशन कोर्स फॉर मे बी 2 or 3 days इन व्हिच वी कैन ट्रेन द पीपल एंड सो दैट। और मैं ये शेयर करना चाहूँगा, मेरे पास डॉक्टर चित्रा के पास कई ईमेल्स आती है मैन्युफैक्चरर्स की जिसमें उनको ये भी क्लैरिटी नहीं होती कि एसटीसी करवाना है या वो एनआरसी करवाना है। हमको उनको समझाना पड़ता है कि सर आपकी क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है, उसके हिसाब से वो उनको सिर्फ आर्किटेक्ट बोलता है नहीं जी इसकी टेस्टिंग करवा लीजिए आप एनपीएल से, तो उनको ये भी नहीं मालूम होता कि एसटीसी करवानी है एनआर करवानी है। तो मुझे ये समझ नहीं आता, जब उसको यही नहीं मालूम तो वो करेगा क्या वहां जाकर? ही इज जस्ट अ मार्केटिंग पर्सन जो वहां से लेके आ रहा है, एंड ही इज गेटिंग द मटेरियल टेस्टेड, और वो रिपोर्ट जाके आर्किटेक्ट को देगा। तो एजुकेशन इज डेफिनेटली रिक्वायर्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर फील्ड, and we will definitely take up this challenge, and in future we'll organize such courses where we can invite the industry, we can train those people, so share those knowledge that they can contribute much better to their work. अतुल सर, आपके कुछ सुझाव, क्योंकि आप बीपीसीसी में इतने स्टेशन संभाल रहे हैं, और सबसे बड़ा मुझे आयरनी ये लगती है कि हम लोग इतना नेटवर्किंग पे इतना पैसा खर्च कर रहे हैं, बट स्टिल आप देखिए नॉइज पोल्यूशन की सिचुएशन वही की वही है। हमारा नॉइज पोल्यूशन कभी कम नहीं होता, और इनफैक्ट हम आने वाली जनरेशन को क्या दे रहे हैं, हमें ये सोचना पड़ेगा।
इनिशियली नेटवर्क्स, नॉइज मॉनिटरिंग नेटवर्क्स नहीं थे तो शायद डेटा हमारे पास इतना नहीं कर सकते इनिशियली। We have at least last 2 years carry. तो सर इसके जो बेसिकली इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग निकल के आती है कि जो सीटीसीबी की तरफ से इमेज बने हुए हैं, बिल्कुल तो हमने 4 ऑपरेशन लगाए थे, साइलेंस जोन या कमर्शियल इंडस्ट्री का तो होना ही नहीं, ये भी मीट नहीं करता। तो अभी सब लोगों के साथ ये है because we are implementing law and implementing this thing that we have to monitor large amount of area, including study about the noise mapping and all these things. In the similar, if we have one to control, how to control, suppose we have data for 2 to 3 years continuous data, and we know that we overpass all 4 categories. So what we control at least hospitals and district according to information. Point that we have to do something to control the noise. सर अभी बहुत सारे हमारे ऐसे लोकेशंस हैं जहाँ की साइलेंस जोन में मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं, नाइट टाइम में भी हम ओवर पास कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे सर कैसे कंट्रोल करें, नॉइस फ्लैगर लगाना या अलग अलग तरीके ये रिक्वेस्ट भी है और सजेशन है कि साथ में मॉनिटरिंग के साथ साथ में इसके मेजर्स भी लेना हमारी इम्पोर्टेंट है, हमारी डेटा का कोई यूज तो नहीं पाता। और दूसरा ऐसा कि हम कई बार डे और नाइट का जो हमारे लिमिट्स बने हुए हैं उसमें थोड़ा सा दोबारा रीथिंक करने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि हम इसको मीट नहीं कर पाएंगे शायद अकॉर्डिंग टू डेटा से।
सर मैं इसके बारे में आपको शेयर करना चाहूँगा, हमने 27 अप्रैल को इंटरनेशनल नॉइज अवेयरनेस डे ईसी हॉल में बनाया था, एंड डॉक्टर मुंजाल, प्रोफेसर मनोहर लाल मुंजाल, आई थिंक सम ऑफ यू मस्ट बी नोइंग हिम, ही वाज द मैन हु ब्रॉट दी स्टैंडर्ड्स। तो मैंने उनसे यही सवाल पूछा था कि सर इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या था 50 और 40 बनाने का, तो उन्होंने मुझे यही शेयर किया कि एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम देयर वाज अ ह्यूज डिस्कशन अबाउट दीज थिंग्स, एंड अल्टीमेटली इट एंडेड with 50-40। अनफॉर्चुनेटली आप देखिए 2000 के रूल्स आज 2022 हो गया, वही का वही चल रहा है, एंड nobody is there to change these rules. I don't know what is the reason, because we are not in the enforcement agency. In fact उसमें वही अमेंडमेंट भी आ रही है, तो कुछ छोटी मोटी अमेंडमेंट आ रही है कि साइलेंस जोन के लिए 100 मीटर का है, ये है वो है, बट आज तक ये नहीं हुआ कि अगर 55 की जगह हम 60 या 65 भी ले आए, and if you can meet that 65 also, I think that also is a great challenge that we have, great achievement. So unfortunately that thing is not in our hand, but definitely monitoring के साथ साथ control भी होना चाहिए, and I think I will pass on this thing today. Even member secretary was here and he was also worried about this thing, and he told me in the morning that हम plan तो कर रहे हैं कि stations और लगाएं, बट एट द सेम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कंट्रोल भी इम्प्लीमेंट होना चाहिए। और उसमें क्या है कि पूरा एक कोऑर्डिनेटेड एफर्ट्स है, क्योंकि सिर्फ डीपीसीसी के करने से कुछ नहीं होगा, उसमें आपका ट्रैफिक मैनेजमेंट भी है, उसमें रोड का सरफेस भी है, सब चीजें हैं।
क्योंकि हमारे पास अभी ऐसा शायद बना होगा स्टैंडर्ड एसएलएम से मॉनिटरिंग करते थे,
जी।
आवर्स हमारे पास नहीं होते थे। तीसरा हमारे पास ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा है,
हाँ।
1 सेकंड फ्रीक्वेंसी डेटा है, तो हमारे पास पीक आवर्स भी हैं,
बिल्कुल
पीक डेज भी हैं और पीक्स भी हैं। अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट हम उस पे बहुत प्लानिंग कर सकते हैं।
श्योर सर, वी विल राइट दिस पॉइंट एंड लेट्स सी कि अथॉरिटीज का इसके बारे में क्या व्यू है। जी सर।
जो आप बोल रहे थे ट्रैफिक नॉइज के बारे में,
जी
main thing is them a coordination with the traffic authority,
जी
the police and the others. You have as much as possible, signal free corridors of every 5 minutes एक signal होगा, बंद करेंगे, again then all the people will again go to first gear, second gear, वो पूरा revving up होता है, and that's where your noise comes. In Bangalore itself, we noticed it in Malleshwaram KG hospital, which is supposed to be a silent zone. We discovered that it was going to rain. And it was discovered that you have a turning, you have signal, you have speed breakers right in front of the hospital. So when you have all these three, invariably there is going to be noise.
सर, आप एम्स का केस स्टडी ले लीजिए, एम्स के बाहर आप खड़े नहीं हो सकते, जो कि हमारा इंडिया का सबसे टॉप मोस्ट हॉस्पिटल है। उसके बाहर अगर आप खड़े हो जाएं तो आई थिंक थोड़ी देर में ही यू विल बी रियली मच एनॉयड। तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली ये सिचुएशन है और इसको कोई हम लोग शायद नहीं देख पा रहे, बट आई थिंक after 10-20 years our children will definitely scold us what you have done for us. So maybe that point we have to take into consideration, and in future maybe authorities will be considerate about these issues. और कोई points sir? हाँ प्रतीक जी please. जी सर।
सर आई गेस लाइक जो भी ओवर ब्रिज है किसी हमारा NHAI के जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट्स है स्पेसिफिकली फॉर रोडवेज. So if we compare to any of a different world like Europe or US, so there are lots acoustical barrier is being used. जो हम कहीं ना कहीं बहुत मिस कर रहे हैं. So that should also be part of the roadways. NHAI has to follow it. At least जो material selection है उसका एक part होना चाहिए, because even if you see into the metro cities there is lot more bridges. So obviously at least for that area is required.
सर इसमें मैं आपको मैं शेयर करूँगा बैरियर्स के बारे में। हमने अभी बहुत सारी पॉलीकार्बोनेट शीट्स अपनी लैब में टेस्ट की, उसका साउंड इंसुलेशन बहुत ही कम है, एंड दोज आर बीइंग मतलब आई कैन से वाइडली यूज्ड इन द मेट्रो स्टेशन, एंड आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज द बेसिस ऑफ यूजिंग दोज थिंग्स, बट वी हैव टेस्टेड दोज शीट्स एंड फाउंड देम मे बी गुड इन अदर एस्पेक्ट्स, एस्थेटिकली दे मे बी ब्यूटीफुल, कॉस्ट चीप भी हो सकती हैं, बट अगर आपका साउंड इंसुलेशन का पर्सपेक्टिव है तो दे आर नॉट मीटिंग द टारगेट्स. And that's why today we have set up a presentation by HBK Denmark only about the noise barrier performance. And I am happy to share with you that NPL has started the noise barrier certification facility here, particularly for the laboratory. And now we are trying to establish a facility for in situ at the site level. And one thing that comes to our mind is कि इसके लिए भी guidelines और certification system होना चाहिए. Whatever barrier is being erected, that barrier should be tested at least for acoustical behavior. Sound insulation उसका test होना चाहिए. Then only it should be installed. Yeah, please.
Sound barrier to sites. Whatever noise level you are testing in the laboratory as of now, as per cycle express, it is not up to the mark. It is installed.
हाँ, तो उसकी performance और degrade हो जाएगी.
Definitely that is going to degrade over a period of time.
Even I would like to share with you that one of my PhD student in Manilka, there was these polycarbonate sheets were there, और वो बीच में से टूटी हुई थी. So one my student went there and they were doing some survey that how people are responding to the noise. So they told that people are less annoyed with the traffic noise as compared to they are much annoyed कि जब वो हवा चलती है तो वो sheets हिलती हैं. उसके कारण जो आसपास के जो दुकान वाले हैं वो ज्यादा परेशान होते हैं. तो व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ सच अ बैरियर जिसकी मेंटेनेंस नहीं है, जिसके कारण लोगों को प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. इनफैक्ट उससे तो उनको ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम आ रही है रेदर देन ट्रैफिक. And most of the people say that they are used to it. जो हम लोगों ने अपनी study की, they are used to such a traffic. जो दुकानदार वहाँ पर हैं on the roadside, they are very happy with this. There are no issues about them. But the problem of annoyance is about these barriers. So इस situation में आप क्या करेंगे? और इस situation में अगर आप किसी अच्छे material को लगाते हैं, तो I think even theft cases and all these things are also issue in our environment. तो ऐसे situation में काम करना बड़ा मुश्किल है. But anyhow, we have to find out how we can work best within this community.
Sir, one more great thing I just wanted to share to you, sir. Like if you see India, like in infra business, specifically for the railways or transportation segment, I will say metros are railways are even the ports. So if we come and see for railways, initially it was more of open rail stations. Now the great thing is happening across the country. We see more than 1,000 railway station is under redevelopment. So these all infra business is going to be covered, and being covered, of course, are even underground having more sound. So whatever, even the existing guideline, we have to follow that. And I don't know how we are connected with that segment of railways and following the same guideline. So my request to you is like even for the covered railway stations, because it is all more of a multi-model, having different aesthetical design also, has to follow the acoustical parameter, because sound is one concern, not for only terminal building or also for the exterior area, which is I think this segment called it semi-enclosed area. That also has a huge concern of sound. So it's all covered station. So please look into that also. Which people should follow.
I think, sir, you have raised another valid point. Mohit sir, I think you may agree about this thing. We have already written in our guidelines, sir, most of the railway station, आप वहाँ जाके अगर announcement सुनेंगे तो I think you will not be able to hear your announcement. कि ट्रेन चली गई कब announcement हुई आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा. So this is a very important point that we have written, that RT of the railway station should be maintained well in a well flow. क्योंकि background noise वहाँ बहुत ज्यादा है. कुछ ना कुछ तो वहाँ करना पड़ेगा. I think some cities now are coming with a very good railway system. But हमारा जो दिल्ली का है वो उनमें निजामुद्दीन और दिल्ली के वहाँ पर अभी ये चीजें नहीं implement हुई है.
So one is sound. Second is like because being railway station, there is also use upward wind pressure. So because train keep coming and goes on, so it increase huge pressure into it also. So apart from sound, it has to be collaborated with the maintenance, of course. So that can be, I think, there are a lot of stakeholders having great design. Aesthetically, it looks very nice, and we are also part of that. So we are also trying to help, like we are working with R&D, our ministry also, to incorporate of course, the safety parameter along with the acoustic, which is near of the building. That can be easily done because there are different material available, and it can be used like right material at the right location and with the right parameter if we follow. So we do have material. There is a guideline. It is just knowledge, and of course, doing things at right time is required.
Sir, there in this point you have to help us. Dr. Chitra, can you please note about this point? If you can tell us, if you can share us practical solutions, so then we can share with this, because Indian Railways is every time they are coming to us, they are getting their materials tested through their vendors like who are the vendors? L&T is there, then many other manufacturers are there. So maybe we can educate that this is. Yeah, please share, sir. Please share us with the technical things. Yeah, how it can be possible, because eventually that only we can share them that this is the thing. Maybe they will not be able to hear you or appreciate you because they will think that you are basically a company. But eventually they will consider our recommendations that we have to do these things.
We are working in the process like as per building norms, because as per Indian geography, if we see like there are different geography having different wind pressure for interior and exterior, for acoustics and fire safety also. So there has to be generic specs for meeting any of the manufacturer with that standard, and that standard has to be for that particular area. So it should be, of course, in favor of the infrastructure business, and any of a manufacturer, everybody are open to do that validation. We are also working on that. So we request if you allow us, we can submit with all.
Sure, sir. We'll be very happy if you can interact with us. You have our email ID, you have our contact number also. Whenever you have such a material, you can share us with us, and we will definitely summarize that thing and forward to the concerned authorities. Even rights is also a very big customer to us. So we can share these things, that these are the things which are required, and these types of solutions are there.
Yes, we.
But unfortunately, the thing is that industry is just into their business. They are not coming, they are not sharing their technical things with us. And sometimes that is a lacuna where these types of things are not being implemented by the government bodies.
Sir, one more request, because I would love to take an example like there, because as per the tender process, like whatever tender are being floated, like everybody has to follow the same specification and the standard. Sometimes what happens, sir, because of the specs which was floated for certain area, and of course there are EPC or maybe model. So there are certain extra fund with the authority. They want to reuse it with this existing specification for the area which doesn't match that specs. And because like people are not able are accepted to process the new specs, because there are already existing tender specification and everybody forces us to follow that. And because of that budget, we'll keep doing that. So I would request, like, as for the specific area, even if it is a new item, they have to follow, and it should be in favor of the need of a building, not for the existing additional budget.
Sir, I would request you to please summarize these aspects, and if you can email me,
Yeah,
so we will put those things in our agenda, and we can forward it to the railways and concerned departments. Yes, these are the things you have to look on, particularly the CPWD, because this was our long back discussion also, that they are very rigid. They are just using the old specifications and they are not changing their specifications.
So just one more addition to, as you the name of CPWD, because if you take an example for any of the car or vehicle, every year there is a next generation. So we being manufacturer, even in our own existing solution, we do a lot of value addition and coming up with the next generation of the same product with extra features. This I'm trying to correlate with the cars because everybody is used to understand that. So if we follow the DSR, which there are a lot of solution which is I think from long back, and still we are following the same with the same commercials. So yeah, commercial is one thing, but we as being manufacturer, we do understand sir value for money, and we have that understanding. Based on that, we are trying to have a solution which can be as economical with the premium or requirement of the features, which we do have. So we can do that addition, but it, of course, everybody has to accept it. So
Sure,
there is a lot of knowledge gaps. So that's how.
You can send, summarize all these things, and we will pass on to the CPWD. And I think they will appreciate it.
Great. I would also request to add on few more material
Sure.
because industry is coming up with new concept and industry is having a better solution also. So that has to be additional in cooperation with the existing solution.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
So,
For railway, as we have seen, when the metro asks for so many stringent conditions for noise and vibration, I believe that the Indian Railways also.
definitely, sir.
They should have, I mean, when you can put it, when you can put monitoring station for metro, why are you not putting, noise monitoring stations for your main trains?
सर अभी 2-3 दिन पहले मैं टीवी में उसमें न्यूज में देखा था, गुजरात का जो रेलवे स्टेशन पता नहीं कौन से सिटी का है, वो ऐसा जैसे एयरपोर्ट बनते हैं आजकल वैसे बन रहा है।
So I can add on sir that is Sabarmati bullet train station, which
I think that is a role model, and in future, sir, the next generation is not thinking about money. I think our kids are never, they are focused about money. They are more focused about comfort. So maybe next few years, such types of modelers, such type of things will be coming up in India, and there we need more acoustics there. So maybe that point is a very important point that we can add on. So already we are very much late, so maybe just 1 or 2 points so that we can close this meeting. Any other points, sir? Please feel free, sir. ये सब चीजें हम summarize करके, हाँ प्रतीक जी प्लीज। मिनी सर आप कुछ बोलेंगे, आप NHI के साथ हैं। हाँ प्रतीक जी प्लीज।
So talking about the control measures or the mitigation plans, जैसे point discuss हुआ था regarding the loudspeakers. Now, and we are discussing about the challenges with the barriers also, because जैसा आपने भी describe किया कि barriers के साथ में भी क्या-क्या challenges आ रहे हैं. So is there a strategy or is there a thought on acting upon these predominant sources that is contributing or source identification and taking action on the sources. जैसे हम usually बात करें तो traffic laws, मतलब railways and airports we are not discussing, but then traffic would be the most prominent. So one of the prominent sources contributing to the noise levels that we are measuring. But ambient stations, we get to know whether those are in limits or not. But what about the sources? Identification of the source and acting upon that source. So I just wanted to know from your side, what do you think is the most prominent source as far as traffic is concerned? When we say traffic, how do we define traffic, and how what is the source from the traffic? Is it the vehicular noise? Is it the honking noise? And any plans to think upon the technologies to identify those and put a restriction on those things? Because ultimately, if we say that it is not within the limits, it is not saying whether we increase the limit, what we are monitoring is not giving us the identification of the source. Taking a corrective action has also its limitation that we are discussing. All other type of like building acoustics is a separate thing that we can address. But ये जो sources है उसके ऊपर actions लेने के लिए is there any plan to identify the technologies by which we can put restrictions and bring them into limits?
जब सबसे पहले इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इस पे जो हम लोगों ने एनालाइज किया है कि ड्राइविंग बिहेवियर यहाँ सबसे बड़ा इशू है. फॉर इंस्टेंस हॉकिंग नॉइज, दैट इज आई थिंक अ ड्राइविंग बिहेवियर, क्योंकि अननेसेसरी हॉकिंग भी कई बार मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम अननेसेसरी हॉकिंग ज्यादा रहती है. जो डेलिबरेट हॉकिंग है वेयर यू आर ट्राइंग टू अवेयर द पर्सन कि मैं आ रहा हूँ, आई थिंक दैट इज लेस अननेसेसरी हॉकिंग ज्यादा है. सेकंड थिंग सर जो हमने एनालाइज किया है, कंजेशन ड्यू टू हैवी व्हीकल्स. आप बसेस की लेन ड्राइविंग, आई थिंक दैट इज ऑलमोस्ट कोशिश होती है लेकिन नहीं, और उसके कारण इतना कंजेशन हो जाता है कि आपकी रोड विड्थ वही की वही है, बट बसेस के कारण इतना कंजेशन है. और सेकंड थिंग इज ट्रैफिक सिग्नलिंग. कई बार आप देखिए ट्रैफिक सिग्नल से ठीक तरह से काम नहीं कर रहे, तो उसके कारण कभी हॉर्न हो रहा है, कभी कुछ हो रहा है. सो आई थिंक दीज थिंग्स कैन बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड इफ पीपल आर मेड अवेयर. अगर ये फाइन सिस्टम ऑलरेडी इम्प्लीमेंट है, बट आई थिंक इसको और थोड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग करना पड़ेगा. और ये टेक्नोलॉजिकल सॉल्यूशंस की सिग्नल जो है वहाँ उनकी स्ट्रीमलाइनिंग हो, एक मतलब सिग्नल्स को लोग फॉलो करें और स्ट्रीमलाइन हो. तो आई थिंक दीज थिंग्स कैन बी सॉल्व. जी मोहित सर, हॉकिंग नहीं रो सर अभी. हाँ
Was that I just
yeah, sure sir, sure.
your question was that how do we see at what source what noise levels are being generated, what frequencies, huh? So it is you have to detect it at the receiving point. If it's 100 meters away, 200 meters away, what is the levels at what frequencies? That is the best way, because independent source maybe today it is there on the highway, tomorrow it may not be there. So it depends. ठीक है ना जी, तो वो आप नहीं कर सकते. You can only do a survey, maybe a 24-48 hours or maybe a week-long survey at the receiving point, where you will get the data and you can average it out. Number one. Secondly, the best solution for this is that you have buildings or places as per building norms, where you have absorption and insulation panels, maybe in the form of sound barriers. We are also working on that. I'll share the data with you, and we've already made a product for that, which can be used on every building. So I will share that. And this is the new technology that is coming in, and gradually we need to be innovative. So we have to work as per Indian conditions. आज की डेट में देखो, we are all working on what Europeans are making, but we are not doing something innovative as per our condition. Temperature over there is different, dust levels are different, atmosphere is different, humidity is different. But in India, it is totally different, and the products need to be keeping our atmosphere and temperatures and environment in mind. Maybe it is from the steering point of view, or it is from a maintenance point of view, or the usability and the economics. So I feel that innovation is very important, for which industry will be an important player, where we can come up with solutions like this.
डेफिनेटली सर, ये आपका जो सजेशन है
We
डेफिनेटली बड़ा अच्छा.
I will discuss with you how it can be
Sure.
done, and we've already worked out a solution.
Sure sir. So anything left, अगर कोई और suggestion हो तो maybe we can write those things. कोई और सुझाव सर? थैंक यू सो मच सर, आप लोग 7 बजे शाम के बैठे थे. It is really a great wonderful thing that you have spared so much of your time coming long back from various places to attend this workshop and sitting here up to 7 p.m. So tomorrow there is another event that is exclusively on this building codes and how to improve that. And I would request you to please share all your ideas there itself, because various people will be there and they will note down whatever things are there. So and this point is very well taken. We will definitely organize some certificate courses in future, so that all the people, all of your people who are working manpower in your companies, they can be trained and they can develop, contribute much better to product development. So again, thank you all for sitting here. Vinit ji, I guess Vinit ji, सिर्फ 2 मिनट में अगर आपको कुछ important point है. सर वही आज सुबह मेरी ये डिस्कशन हुई थी विनीत जी, जो हैंड्स जो बीएडके से थे. अनफॉर्चुनेटली क्या हो रहा है हमारे यहाँ, बेसिकली हम लोग 3-4 अकोस्टिक कंसल्टेंट्स को लेके चल रहे हैं.
यस यस सर.
वो कंसल्टेंट्स अपने हिसाब से आपको बता देते हैं, अच्छा जी पॉलीकार्बोनेट शीट लगा लो,
Exactly.
ये लगा लो, वो लगा लो. एंड most of the people are not knowing that what is the acoustical consideration here. Although aesthetically या ये और perspective में वो अच्छा होगा, but
Yes.
to the best of our surprise when we have tested those things, वो ऐसा environment ये chambers टेस्टिंग और कहीं है नहीं इंडिया में.
Yes yes.
तो उस कारण से जब हमने उनको टेस्ट किया तो we found that acoustically they are inferior. उसका कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. Rather than erecting those materials, एक distance effect जो हमारे इसमें आता है कि when you are away from the line source 3 dB decrease तो वैसे ही हो रहा है आपका, तो डिस्टेंस इफेक्ट इतना प्रोपगेट हो रहा है जितना का बैरियर था. दैट इज जस्ट यूजलेस वेस्टेज ऑफ द मनी एक्चुअली.
If NPL will conduct any case study on that, so that after that we can go the advanced thing कि क्या हमें इसमें improvement करना चाहिए, because we are infusing money on that. Contractor को हम already bound कर रहे हैं कि आप install करो noise barriers.
श्योर सर, इसीलिए मैं ये कह रहा था कि एक स्पेसिफिकेशन नॉइज बैरियर की टेंडर में होनी चाहिए और उसका परफॉर्मेंस इवैल्यूएशन बहुत जरूरी है. अदरवाइज देखिए हमारे यूरोप में तो ये है कि हर 2 साल बाद उसका परफॉर्मेंस इवैल्यूएशन होता है. हमारे यहाँ वो चीज नहीं प्रैक्टिकली फिजिबल है. हमारे यहाँ तो यही है कि वो जब लग जाएगा तो उस टाइम आप परफॉर्मेंस इवैल्यूएशन कर लीजिए और उसके बाद भूल जाइए, क्योंकि मेंटेनेंस इज अनदर बिग इशू. बट एट द टाइम ऑफ इंस्टॉलेशन एटलीस्ट इट शुड मीट सम टारगेट्स कि इसका इतना इंसर्शन लॉस होना चाहिए या इतना इसका acoustic साउंड इंसुलेशन होना चाहिए. तो वो चीज अपने टेंडरिंग प्रोसेस में, अपने जो गाइडलाइंस प्रोसेस में वो जरूरी इंप्लीमेंट होना चाहिए. दैट इज वन थिंग दैट वी आर ट्राइंग एट आवर पार्ट एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव स्टार्टेड द नॉइज बैरियर सर्टिफिकेशन फैसिलिटी, जिसको हम अभी लैबोरेटरी में कर रहे हैं. सून वी विल ट्राई टू पुट द इन सिटू टेस्टिंग वेयर हम साइट पे जाके वो टेस्टिंग कर सकते हैं. यू कैन सी आज बीएनके ने वो सिस्टम दिखाया एंड वी आर ट्राइंग टू मेक सच अ सिस्टम इन कोलैबोरेशन विद बीएनके कि इस तरह के सिस्टम्स को हम लेके where we can do the on-site testing for performance evaluation of noise barriers.
Yes sir.
ये चीज NHI CPWD के अगर इसको थोड़ा सा अगर इस पे फोकस करेगा, I think that will be a very good point to control the noise levels.
Definitely sir. I will also discuss with the authorities regarding that.
So thank you again sir for your sparing your time, and tomorrow 9:30 the program will start, but tomorrow it will be starting in the TEC conference room. जब आप लोग NPL enter कर रहे हैं, so there is a big name TEC conference, TEC building is there. There our conference will be, this workshop will be organized. So again, thank you all for sparing your time.